Welcome to the Jointery podcast, a podcast where we study the lives of study the lives of two dads trying to find the balance between the families, hobbies and work. This week on the Jointery, we discover...
Can I kick him in the nuts before he reacts? That's my number one thing.
Let's search for the meaning of life as it had never been witnessed before. The Jointery podcast.
Let's just kick it off like we normally do.
I thought we already started. When I said, yo, how you doing? Like, you know, what's been up? Like, that's usually your cue for, like, bro, the puck. I've already hit record. I don't know if you hit record.
Yeah, I hit record. We're starting. We're already going. Dude, I'm good.
We never have show prep, so, like, why not just start immediately when you hit the microphone button?
Yeah. So I'm good, dude. How about you? You just got home from a freaking week-long trip. Where'd you go? How was it? How was the flights? All that nonsense. Lay it on us.
Dude, you want me to fill the entire hour with this trip? Because it only makes sense that, like, okay, so I went to Denver. I arrived in Denver Friday. We drove up to, I'm just giving the outline up front.
Give me just the bullet points.
Because there's a lot of infill in here that.
I'm sure.
Oh, God, I was taking notes after the second day. I was like, there's no way I'm going to remember half of this. So we went to Beaver Creek, which is by Vail. I don't know if you know where that is.
No, but it sounds awesome, and I like their tools.
Yeah.
My chisels, my new carving set is from Beaver Creek or Beaver Craft. Oh, it's Beaver Craft. Never mind. It's close
as long
enough.
as it's got beaver in it. It's
Beaver something.
Yeah, dude. So we went to Beaver Creek, and we were supposed to be there for 2 days, but we were only there for like a day and a half. And then we went back to Denver, and then my wife had to work from like Sunday afternoon through Tuesday night, and it was just me with the kids in Denver the whole time. And literally, like, dude, we woke up at 5 this morning, Denver time, and we landed like an hour ago. And we get home, I literally threw all of my stuff down. I cooked a quick hot dog because, I mean, there was no hot dogs in Denver. Not that I found. And when I say a quick hot dog, I mean 2 hot dogs and a hot link.
So 3 hot dogs.
So 3 hot dogs, but there was only 2 buns, so I don't know, if that counts.
So 3 sandwiches.
3. Dude, this sandwich thing has not stopped, man. I'm still like, it's not something I'm used to of how big of a controversy we started with. Is a burger a sandwich? You have Patsy on your side, even though she admitted in the DM that I was right, I think.
Oh, shut up. She did not. She would not do that.
Well, what I said to her what I said to you, which was, I believe why you believe a burger is a sandwich. And it's because on a restaurant menu, and keep in mind, I think I told you this because it might have been that one time I like stone dialed you. I don't know. It's what the weed equivalent of drunk dialing is, but
yeah, at one point you called me this weekend and your eyes were very, very, very heavy. They looked like you could barely open them. And you texted me. We talked for like 10-15 minutes. I don't think you probably remember any of it. But then after that, you texted me quickly after that and said, some gentleman just brought me a cookie. And if he asks me to go back to his van with him, I am going.
Yeah, that's I do remember the cookie. I do. But I almost passed out on the couch in the lobby of this hotel I wasn't staying at. So
excuse me, sir.
Yeah. So in other words, your phone's been ringing for an hour. Like, would you like to help us answer it?
What room are you in, sir?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Dude,
right.
Yeah.
I forgot that you went there for a work thing for your wife. I forgotten that. You mentioned that at the a week ago when you told me you were going. But I had totally forgotten. So that's crazy that you were just you and the kids in Denver.
You know what though? Like, okay, so I'll give you a couple highlights, and then we could go to other stuff. Because a whole podcast about my trip would be entertaining. But
yeah.
and I'm sure you're gonna have questions too. But so like the first thing, right? So like we land, okay,
Yeah.
and we get off the plane and it's like 60 degrees, which I know you in California is like, oh god. For me, I was like jacket off, hoodie off. I'm like, I'm ready to bust out shorts. I was that it was that nice.
Yeah.
And we immediately start driving to Beaver Creek, and we get up into the mountains and it starts snowing real bad, right? And holy hell, dude! Like I'm in Chicago, I'm used to snow on the roads, right?
Yeah.
But like snow in the mountains when it's pitch dark and like I knew, okay, so I knew that it was I should be taking that I was taking it the right amount of serious because even though I was going like at 1.15 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
Um the hotel shuttle buses, like those like sprinter vans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That like the dude makes a trip like 200 times a day.
Yeah.
like
He knows the roads.
Yeah, he knows the roads, and he was driving slow. Like I wasn't getting
Yeah.
like passed by them. I did get passed by like 3 Suburbans, and I was like, I hope that's somebody who thinks they're important. But yeah, so the ride up there was just brutal. And then like so the next day we woke up and like the kids went to take snowboard and ski lessons, which they did great. Okay, Bubs did good. Ellie's an athlete, man. She has never skied before, right?
Yeah.
And getting some kind of glitchy sound in my headphones.
It's like black diamonds at the end of the day, or what?
Dude, she skied from 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon and fell once.
Wow.
Like
That's impressive because you spend a lot of time on your butt when you first start skiing.
dude, I took an edible and walked around the plaza and I fell 4 times. So,
Okay, so you're at the ski lodge.
Oh,
The
dude,
kids
I'm
are
just-
skiing.
Wait,
You
can
took
I-
a. You
Wait,
took
wait,
a,
wait, hold on. Can I take a quick nap?
No naps for you.
Damn it!
I offered you the opportunity to not do this today, and you were like,
Ah,
"No, I work better under pressure."
yeah. This is where my A game really comes out. No, so okay, so they're skiing and I was like, well, I'm in Denver, when in Rome, and
Yeah,
I hit
of
up
course.
I hit up 3 dispensaries that morning, right? Like it's like, what do you have? What like Ben? Like think about it. Like if you were in Denver, okay, and you had from basically 9 in the morning till about 2 in the afternoon to yourself, like
I've only been to Colorado once, and that was with my friend who lives there. And we flew into Denver, got off the plane, got in a car, drove straight to a dispensary. That was the number one stop, and then continued up the mountain to his house. But yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm in Colorado for one reason, I mean, other than to see my friends, what else do you go there for? I mean, I don't know what else is in Denver.
And I did both, dude. So after I hit the dispensary up, then I went back to the hotel, popped an edible, right?
Yeah.
And brought my weed pen, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk around Beaver Creek Village until they're done skiing, and I'll get a burger or something. And oh, dude.
So no
like-
skiing for you, because last time you told us about an amazing skiing story, and so
Yeah,
you opted out this time.
Yeah, I opted out. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna get to do that every time, but this time I think my wife knew more about what was gonna happen over the course of the trip. It was like, hey, let me give you some time to yourself before I leave you.
So no ski opre or whatever you called it.
Opera
ski.
Opera ski. Well, I mean, I technically opera skied the whole day because, dude, I just got completely baked, and then I got a cheeseburger, and I remember it being okay. And like then I met up with them, and then the altitude was really getting to me because I don't think I was drinking enough water.
Oh yeah.
And like so we just had like dinner in the hotel, and then passed out, and then like the next day we what did we do in the morning? I know we had breakfast, and then I don't know. We did some crap during the day, and then we drove back to Denver through more blizzard. But at least it was
Jeez.
during the day. And then when we got to there, we drove all the way to Denver, and then we drove back the way we came, like a half hour, because we hit the hotel,
Yeah.
dropped our stuff off, and then I had to drop my wife off at her boss's house. And oh my god, dude! Like keep in mind, dude, I'm wearing the same hoodie I flew out there, right? because I could only fit one hoodie in my backpack, right?
Yeah.
So like it's not the cleanest and it's not the nicest hoodie. And like we get to this lady's house and my wife's just wearing something nice.
Yeah, of course.
She doesn't look bad. And like here I am, I look like I'm freaking homeless. But like at least I had the kids, and like so we get into her boss's house, dude, and like this is where I was like, oh my god, dude. So
I mean, lay it out for us. I mean, is this what kind of house are we talking? Is this
it is in the middle of nowhere, dude.
Like in the middle of the forest?
Like yes, like
Oh, wow.
like I asked the dude, I'm like, what's the DoorDash situation like out here? And he goes, well, Domino's delivers, but that's it, right?
Oh wow! All right,
Yeah.
so you're secluded.
Dude, like when we left this lady's house, we saw elk, like a herd of elk.
Oh Jesus!
Like yeah, like we were in nowhere. It was a nice house. It wasn't huge, but it was a nice mountain house and
yeah, like a cabin kind of.
beautiful views. You can't see any of your neighbors, and like it was nice. And so like, but we get in there, right? And the first thing Bubs is like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, so I'll go to the bathroom with him, right? And I'm like in the bathroom. I'm like, hey man, I'm like, you need to be on your best behavior here, okay? And he's like, no. He's like, no. And I was like, Bubs, no, seriously, man. Like, this is mommy's boss's house. Oh man, I thought I was getting interrupted. I'm like, this is mommy's boss's house. I'm like, it's really important to mommy and me that you don't act like an insane person. Please just chill. And he was like, I don't know what that means, Dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, come on. And he looks at me dead in the face. He goes, I'm killing it today, aren't I? I was,
oh, dude, that's so great.
I'm like, this is the problem. This is how I've raised my kids, right? Like they love fucking with me. It's nonstop. So like like you've seen how they like just are all over me. So then I'm like, okay, whatever. So then they're like they tour the house and they have this like rec room basement area with like a theater room and like a little mini bar, and they have an air hockey table in there, and they have a skee ball table in there, a skee ball machine, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I love skee ball.
Really cool skee ball machine. So like Bubs found this bucket of Transformers, and that was like the best thing that could have ever happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I took a picture at one point. I could send it to you, dude. He's like sitting down on the floor, and he's completely surrounded by all these Transformers that are all transformed into robots, and they're all like facing him, right?
He's like he's holding court. Like this is what we're doing. We're going into battle.
Yeah. So like while I'm like talking to the my wife's boss's husband, right? Ellie. He showed Ellie how the skee ball machine works, how to turn it on and use it, right?
Yeah.
And like I could hear it in the background, ding, 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 whatever. And all of a sudden Ellie goes, and she was with this thing for 5 minutes. She goes, Dad, I got 29,000 points, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in my head, I'm like, it's like 10 balls, I think. And I'm like, you would have to hit at least 10,000 to get 29,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she did, dude. Like within 5 minutes, she was posting up like 20,000 plus scores every time, and like she hit 29,000 twice. And like she's like, Dad, she's like, you want to play against me, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, but I want to go upstairs. And she's like, I'll make you a deal. I was like, what's that? She goes, if I beat you, you have to play air hockey with me, but if you lose, then you can go upstairs. And I was like, puck, deal, right?
Yeah, you got this.
How am I gonna lose to my daughter, right?
Of course, yeah.
Dude, she put up.
I'm betting that she kicked your ass, but that's just my bet.
Dude, let me just tell you, right? She went first, and I knew after my second toss I was going to lose, right? And then she like looks at me as I'm on like my fifth or sixth one. She goes, "You never want to underestimate Ellie." And I like look at her. She goes, "Don't ever underestimate me, Dad." I was like.
Dude, your kids are going to take over the world. It's a little scary. I'm a little scared about that.
It is. Yeah. And then I destroyed her in some air hockey, so that was fine. So
well, at least you redeemed yourself because
a little bit. Yeah. So, but then like after we left so we ended up leaving my wife there, and because like it's like you're at someone's house and you could tell when your kids hit to the limit, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I turn around, Ellie's laying on Jackie, right? Like across a chair, okay? And Bubs is like looking at me going, I'm bored. And I'm like, time to go.
So, oh, yeah. Because you don't want him to hit that wall and then all of a sudden all his good behavior that he's had just goes out the window.
when your fighter jet catches fire, you pull the ejection cord before you hit the ground,
yeah,
right?
You definitely do.
Yeah. So after that, dude, it was just the three of us, and like we went to dinner, and like Jackie made appearances here and there, but she really had a lot of work to do. But yeah, so like over the course of like the weekend, I took him to 5 of places. Like I took him to the zoo, the aquarium, the Natural Science Museum.
Wow, that must have been awesome.
The transportation, yeah, that was cool. The transportation museum and a selfie museum.
Oh, the selfie museum. I was interested about that because that sounds like fun.
I mean, if you're like a 22-year-old girl, this place is awesome for you.
That's like heaven, right?
Dude, yeah. I mean, they got like lighting and tripod, so you look great in every single room, and it was like they got all these different cool stuff. And so I took they loved it. The kids loved it, right?
Did you guys get selfies in every room? Can you put together a montage of all these selfies? So we can see it, because I think that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I might do something with it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I mean, dude, I took so many photos. I didn't take a lot of video when I was there, but I did take a ton of photos. So
that's good. I like photos.
Yeah,
I like photos. I think that we've lost that a little bit in the whole Instagram video world. I mean, now that everything's about reels and about this and that, videos and YouTube and all that, I just miss like looking at photos of things, Anyway.
Yeah. And I was really not on social media most of the time I was out there.
I know I was getting my fix. I was like, where's my Luke fix?
Yeah, like I don't know. I wanted to be there for them, so like I just kind of put the phone away and, just kind of did the thing. But, oh, dude, I forgot. Bubs said the stupidest shit, dude. A bag of these gummy bears, right?
Yeah.
And,
wait, these are the
No, these aren't gummies. They're literally Harpo gummy bears, right?
Okay, got you.
Got this bag of gummy bears, and Bubs walks in out of the bathroom, and he's completely naked. And he's like,
"This is the usual."
Yeah, per usual. He's in a hotel room. Yeah. Oh, he has a new nickname, Danglesaurus Rex, which he's okay with, which is great.
Yeah.
But no, he like looks at me and he's like, "Dad, can I have some gummy bears?" And I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, it's right before dinner. I'm like, or it was like, no, it was right before bed, right? We like, and I'm like, no, dude, you can't have gummy bears before you go to bed. He was like, he's like, but look, this is the penis hand.
What?
And this is the other hand. So I'm just gonna touch him with the other hand, not the penis hand. And I was like, I looked at him, like, what are you talking about? He was like, well, I was touching myself with this hand, and I didn't think I should put the penis hand into the gummy bear bag. I'm like, well, thanks for thinking of your family, bro. Like,
yeah. Oh my God, dude. Frankie does the same thing, man. He'll walk around with his hand like down his pants.
Yes.
And it's just like, what the, like, I don't remember as a kid being so like infatuated with like reaching my hand like down my pants all the time. It was just like, dude, it's just amazing to me.
And like, what age do you get more discreet about that shit? Because I still touch my junk a lot. Like, I think nobody sees it.
It's more of an adjusting nowadays.
Yeah.
Like these kids just don't care, man. He'll literally walk around the house with his hand like literally just down his pants. It's just like, what the fuck, dude. It's funny you mentioned a bathroom story with Bubs, because we went out to dinner last week on Friday, and we went to this Mexican spot that we like called Rodrigo's, and it's a good spot, and they got great food. And we always, I don't know why, but we end up always in the same like area of the restaurant. We just for some reason always get sat in this one section, and we go there a lot too. So it's just like the odds of that happening are strange. But we're close to the bathroom. Frankie's like, "Yeah, I gotta go potty." I'm like, "Cool, let's go." So we walk in there. As far as I could tell, we were the only ones in the bathroom, right? We walk in, open the door, we go straight to the urinals. There's 2 urinals right next to each other with a divider in between. And it was a pretty big divider for a urinal. And then there's the one toilet with the stall back there. And
I appreciate a good big divider,
Yeah, I appreciate a big divider myself personally as well. You know what I mean? We've talked about this. I'd rather go to a bathroom and do my business all by myself. It's like Isn't that weird? Like your whole life, like you go to a single bathroom, like you're going to the bathroom, but then all of a sudden you go to any sporting event, any big venue and stuff like that, and you're out there peeing amongst the people, like a trough situation or like
Yeah.
urinals with no dividers next to them at sporting events. It's just crazy. It's just a weird situation.
Yeah.
Your brain just automatically like freaks out about it. But anyways, we go to the bathroom, we walk in. Frankie walks right up to the urinal, and he's on the because usually there's the kid size one and then the adult size one. And he walks up to the kids one, and he's standing there. I'm standing behind him, and then all of a sudden this guy walks in, and he walks right past us, and he stands like kind of behind me to the right, and then all of a sudden he says, "Can you reach okay?" And I was like, "What the fuck? Is he talking to my son? Like what's going on?" And I turn around and I look at him, and he's like. He looks at me weird, and then out of nowhere, I hear a little tiny voice. Yeah, Dad, I'm okay. I had no idea there was another little kid in there already next to us, peeing in the urinal next to us. So I thought this guy was like creeping on us, but he's actually talking to his little kid who's next to us, and I didn't even see him coming in for sure. I just thought this guy was creeping on us. It was just like so weird. He was just like standing there. He didn't say anything for a good like 30 seconds. Like he just stood there behind me.
So
like
how close was he?
I mean, dude, within like 3 feet of us, like
So
literally, like
if you put your arms out, you would have been touching.
oh, I would have hit him. Like, yeah, for sure. I thought, and so like, dude, I was like, literally, like, am I gonna have to like fight this guy in the bathroom? Like, this is weird.
Dude, there's been a lot of great movies with a lot of great bathroom fight scenes, and I'm guarantee you yours would not look that cool.
No. Although I think I could have took him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I could have taken him.
I think my ability that like when I'm out and like I think if my kid's around, I think I could take on more people.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, yeah, I could probably fight 2 people at once, or like that big dude. Like if my kid's there, yeah, like for sure. Like I'm just gonna go crazy. Like I have no choice.
I always think about the same thing. Like, what would I do in this situation? And you always want to think that you're gonna step up to the the situation and handle the business, but
I'm always thinking,
mystery.
Can I kick him in the nuts before he reacts? That's my number one thing. I'm like, I just got to get you down right away. Like, like can I just get the nut shot in quickly? Like,
yeah,
if you block that, I'm screwed. I get my one shot.
Yeah. Everybody always goes for a punch. I'm thinking like kick to the knee, kick to the balls, like something quick to incapacitate you, and then
punch in the neck. Something. Yeah, I don't know. Clearly I'm a kung fu master. So
we're gonna be kicking everybody's ass.
I can't wait to find out who listens to our podcast who's a black belt this week. That'll be great.
Oh man, dude. So I'm glad you had a good trip. I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad it was a good experience.
There was only one part of the whole trip where I was pretty sure I was gonna murder them. Like when I get to that point with the kids, usually if Jackie's around, she'll be like, "Look, why don't you take a step away? Like I'll jump in because like I could see the strangle mode in your eyes." And it was, oh, man, dude, like I don't know what the hell. So what happened was I think I'm partially responsible for this, but
partially, okay,
I'd say 40%. So what happened is that the day before, what was the day before? Yeah, the day before, we're at lunch, and my daughter like looked at me, and she goes, "Truth or dare," right? She's really got into truth or dare lately, and I'm like,
yeah,
truth. And so I forget what she asked. She's like, "I don't know what to ask you to do, or ask you question wise." I'm like, "All right." Like I would have gone with which kid do you love more, right? Like that to my dad, that's what I always was going. So I go to her like, okay, fine, your turn. Truth or dare? And she goes, dare. I go, all right, I dare you to let your brother kiss you on the lips, right? which she's like, whoa. She's like, no, Dad, that is gross. And I was like, look, the whole point of playing truth or dare, and I'm like, Ellie, you're gonna learn this. Boys are gonna ask you to do things that you're really uncomfortable with, and you're gonna have to decide: are you gonna face the pressure, or are you gonna stand up for yourself? And she was like, and she just kind of like looked at me like, "Is this a real thing?" And I was like, "You ready, Bubs?" And he was like, he comes walking around the table. She's freaking out like, "No!" So 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 that's why I think what happens, what I'm about to tell you next, could have led to this being my fault. So Jackie finished up her work on Tuesday, and we were hanging out, and then we wanted to go visit a friend of hers, and then she had to go to like a happy hour thing afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So we go visit the friend. The kids are fine. We're riding back, okay, and they're just fighting in the back seat. And I know that they're tired, right? Like I trucking them around all day. We walked all kinds of places. We walked to the zoo. They were probably a little hungry too. Like they didn't get really snacks, you know.
Yeah.
They're just fighting in the back seat, right? And all of a sudden, I hear a slap that sounded like it made perfect connection with a face, right?
Ooh, yeah.
It was just a whack, right? And like Jackie's like, what the? And then all of a sudden, Bubs just starts wailing, crying, right? And we're like, Ellie, what did you do? And she's like, of course, she's like, I don't know. She's like, I didn't think I hit him that hard. Like,
Oh my gosh.
and I'm like, like you know when you're at a bar and somebody gets slapped in the face, like you know that sound, right? And it was
of course.
right behind me. So I was. So they just completely started fighting and crying and blah blah. Blah. Apparently, what happened was Bubs was trying to kiss her in the back seat because he thought it was funny.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And she was like, no. And, you know, so like part of me was like, well, yeah, if somebody tries to kiss you and you don't want them to, slap them in the face, Ellie. Like, that's what I want her to do. But, like, I'm like, she's not your brother. And you're like, Bubs, you're taking this joke too far, man. He's still in that, like, he's still got a little bit of that lingering, like if you do something and it's fun and funny, he wants to just keep repeating it over and over and
Yeah,
over
of
again.
course. My son does the same thing. They're at that age.
Yeah.
That's humor to them.
Yeah, and at Ellie's age, she's not interested. So anyway, so they're fighting in the back seat, and then we drop Jackie off, and like I start to pull away, and they're still acting like jerks, and I was so pissed at them. I'm like, you've seen your mom for like a collective hour since Saturday
Yeah.
night, right? And I'm like, she's in the car for a half hour, and you guys are fighting and screaming and hitting each other. I'm like, what the shit is wrong with you two? And they're like, I'm like, no, that's a dick move. I'm like you gotta respect your mom. You have that little time with her. Like, fuck you. I'm like, we're not going out to dinner, right? I'm like, and I'm like, and I told Ellie, I'm like, Ellie, like, you need, like, what do you guys want to do? And they're both like, well, we want to, you know, go to dinner. And I'm like, well, then say something nice to each other. And I'm like, Ellie, Ellie, I'm like, let's reset this. And I'm like, Ellie, you go first. And Ellie sat there for like 5 minutes and didn't say anything. And I'm like, Ellie, come on. She's like, Bubs, I hope you enjoy dinner. And dude, I pulled the car over, and then I yelled at them for a good 5 minutes, and then I changed the GPS in the car to the hotel. They saw me do it, right? And they're like, but we want to eat. We're hungry. I'm like, you guys, fuck you both. I'm like,
you blew it.
Yeah. I'm like, this is what happens when you act like this and mommy's not around. I'm like, we're just gonna get crazy. You want to see what bad dad's all about? You know, we ended up, but it was great though, dude.
You're a pushover. I'm sure you took him to dinner.
I did take him to dinner, but I made them jump through 700 hoops first. But the funniest part was that like, so we're sitting there and finally like Ellie started unprompted and like, Ellie, Bubs, I love you. I'm sorry, like I hit you, and Bubs like, I love you too. And like they were clearly making it up. They figured it out like that's what they needed to do, like really make up.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, fine. You guys said some nice things. I'm like, what do you want to do? And they're like, we still want to go to dinner. And they're like, could we just have fun and go to dinner? And then I'm like, okay. And I turn the car around and I start going to the restaurant. And all of a sudden, Ellie in the back seat lets out the loudest fart. I mean, it was aggressive.
Yeah.
And we all started cracking up. And after that, it was like it never happened.
There you go. Tension breaker. There you go.
And now Ellie, now Bob says Ellie has magic farts.
There you go. They fix all the problems. Dude, our kids are the same way, man. It's like they can't help but after, a whole day of loving each other and spending time together and enjoying themselves, one little thing happens and it's just like freaking ends the whole day. And like yesterday, me and Debbie are hanging out in the shop and we're doing stuff, and then Penny comes in and she's crying. Frankie comes in after her. It's so funny, man. He knows as soon as if she gets upset, it's the classic, like she gets upset, She comes to the garage. He immediately is in tow right behind her to defend himself. You know what I mean? It's like she says one thing, he immediately has an excuse of why. But this time she came in and she's like, they play a game called Roblox. I don't know if you know what Roblox is.
I've heard it, but I don't know what it is.
And they also play a game called Minecraft. You know what Minecraft is?
Yes, I do know Minecraft.
Okay, Minecraft is like they build their houses and you can play
you
together.
You said Frankie builds those elaborate mansions.
Yes, like... he goes crazy, right? And so like Penny does the same thing. She's very good at it as well. And but they play in the same you can play on the same server and stuff. So you can be in each other's worlds and stuff.
Yeah.
And
so they're neighbors.
So they're neighbors. They have houses. But Frankie watches this guy on YouTube called I forget his name. His name's Preston or whatever. But he's always doing pranks on his wife because they're both YouTubers. And so they do these shows together where they're playing Minecraft and they're pranking each other all the time. And so Frankie he snuck into Penny's house while she was at school. Penny was at school. Frankie got home early, went on the server, went into her house, and planted dynamite all over her house. So when she came in and opened the door, it like triggers the dynamite and explodes. So the whole house. So like, and of course,
he cratered her house.
Dude, he cratered her house, and I'm like, and of course I'm like freaking. You know, the part of me that's like think it's funny, you know, I think it's hilarious, right? But there's also the parent in me who wants to stop him from doing mean things to his sister. So I'm sitting here, half of me smiling and laughing at the same time. I'm like having to like tell him, you don't do that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And Penny's over there crying, and he's just getting like, and because for him, he thinks it's hilarious, dude.
I mean, it is hilarious. You cannot argue that it's not hilarious. Like we both have siblings. You know, that's a quality little brother move, right?
Yes,
there.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious. So
that's like research, planning, and scheming. Like that's
the thing. I'm impressed by it. I'm like, dude, this kid. You know what I mean? Like, there's part of me that's. Like,
how much dynamite did he lay in there?
Oh, dude, her house was gone, bro. He destroyed it.
Does her like character die too?
I don't know if her character dies.
Or is it like it completely explodes and all that's left is like a field and a crater and like there's her character?
Yes, dude. And then she's like, and she's freaking dying. She's crying. You know, she's like, I'm so upset. And
I'm sure she put hours into that house.
Hours, bro, hours. And he just thought it was the funniest thing to destroy.
He fucking vaporized it.
Vaporized it. And so I'm like, okay.
Did you let her blow his house up?
Well, no, that's the thing is I was like, look, so now like, what do you got to do? What are you going to do how are you going to, how are you going to fix this problem? So his solution was to go in and help her rebuild her house. And he tells me afterwards, he's like, Dad, I helped her rebuild it, but I put some booby traps in it.
What a little brother.
Like, you did not learn anything in this whole thing. You didn't learn anything. So I'm assuming at some point this week, she's going to be doing something in her house that's going to cause it to explode or something. You know what I mean? It's like,
joke's on you, Dad. I didn't learn a thing.
Exactly. Oh, my God, dude. He's so funny, man.
Dude, it's a hard position to be in, though, dude. Like you know, when your kid is clearly funny and they're in the wrong.
Dude, it's impossible sometimes for me to keep a straight face when I'm talking to him because he's just deviously smart, funny things that, you know, obviously, you know, he shouldn't be doing, or, you know, that he knows they're going to upset his sister. But there's just part of me that's kind of like proud that he's smart enough to figure stuff like that out. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm proud of him. Like, you know, and like Ellie does that stuff all the time. And like I'll be like, Ellie, you can't do that stuff. And like she'll like come up to me later and be like, hey, Dad, I know you said I couldn't do that, but so we're clear, that was funny, right? And I'm like, well, yes, Ellie, it was hilarious, but it was not appropriate. You need to learn there's a difference there. I'm like,
clarifying. She just wants clarification. She's like, I know I did something wrong, but it was funny, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and I'm like, look, if you could just do that again, but not at your brother's expense, like, you're probably not going to get yelled at. She was like, I think that yelling wasn't that bad, Dad, to be honest with you. Like, I I didn't learn anything, Dad.
Did you guys speaking, because we're talking about our kids and whatnot, did you guys get a chance to watch Making Fun? Jimmy
Yes.
Dress's new show that's out on Netflix.
I can't believe how great that show is.
Yeah, it's got Jimmy and then like 4 other guys, right? So
it's got Graz and Pat
and Pat and Paul Jackman and who else? Who am I missing? Oh, and Derek from Malden.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good little show.
Dude, my kids now, because we've watched like 3 or 4 episodes together, and I won't let them watch it without me because I really want to watch it.
Of course.
They're like, Dad, you're being grumpy like Jimmy. Actually, you know what? One thing they did say is they go, Jimmy kind of looks like Ben. I'm almost like, what? You think Jimmy DeResta and Ben look the same? She was like, yeah. I'm like,
old grumpy white dudes. We all look alike.
I mean, yeah, they're totally stereotyped. But yes, that show is awesome, and we're like 4 episodes in, and the kids love it, and I love it. You know,
I'm 2 episodes in, and I was like really enjoying. Let's put it to you this way: I enjoy the build parts of the show, the parts where they're actually making and building and stuff like that. That part I really enjoy, and when they're just cutting it up and talking and being themselves. The whole like him talking to the kids and trying to figure out what they're doing, and his like acting, like they're like making him act like he's grumpy and stuff like that. Like that whole part of it, like, you know, I think they could have gotten away with. The show would have been just as good without him having to pretend he's a grumpy old man, basically. You know what I mean? Like that part of it.
I get you, but like my kids love that part.
Really?
They love that part. Like they're sitting there and they're like laughing and like, you know, like,
I guess you're right. This is not made for me.
No, it's yeah. I mean, it's made for the kids. So like when they're like next, like I'm ready for like Ellie to just to be like, okay, Bubs, next. Like, you know.
Yeah. But it was good though. I enjoyed it. Jimmy's farm is gorgeous. His workshop is gorgeous.
Dude, I, honestly though, watching that show, all I could think of the whole time is how much I want to be there. I'm like, even if you weren't filming the show, I'm like, I just want to be there with you guys hanging out making shit.
Yeah,
like,
no, definitely. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Oh.
That's the dream shop. Obviously, he's got everything you can imagine that you would ever need to make anything.
Dude, and building these things, like Netflix is like we think like how, like I look at them building the stuff and I'm like thinking to myself like the cost of materials and things like that.
Yeah.
And like, but in reality, it's Netflix money, right? So like the cost of doing the show is almost nothing.
Oh, you mean to Jimmy and them?
No, to cost to Netflix.
Oh, it costs to Netflix. Yeah.
I mean, because like when I saw it on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on Friday, and like by Saturday or Sunday, it was the number 6 show in the whole kids thing, right? I don't know what it is now, but I'm thinking to myself, like, you look at that compared to like an animated show or something else, and like, or like a show where they give away money, right? Like the cost to do that show is like nothing. So I have to imagine that's a home run for them. And like the editing of that show, that's the one thing. Like
the special effects are rad, dude.
Dude, like the way they edited it,
yeah.
Like I keep thinking of how I edit reels and things and YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know anything about editing. Like clearly, I don't know. I edit a YouTube video, but that does not make me an editor. Like that's
no, for sure. Yeah, no, these guys are amazing. These editors and these special effects guys, and you know what I mean. They're so incredibly talented. I like the one, the one where like they like put Jimmy down, or Jimmy puts himself down and then picks himself up and then like, shrinks. I don't know. It's just crazy. I was just like, and then the one where they flicked Paul Jackman against the
it was Pat Lap
against the barn. I was just like, geez, dude, that's so cool how they do that.
But I was excited because like in that first episode, they were talking about epoxy.
Oh yeah,
and Bubs lit up and he was like, epoxy. They're using epoxy, Dad.
Oh, see, that's cool.
You know, and I was like, yeah, buddy. He's like, look how cool it looks. You know, so
I think it's neat because it's, I mean, obviously we have a different perspective because we're makers and we our kids are around it, so
Yeah.
which is cool because you saw that in Bubs, he like something registered and he was like, boom, epoxy, we use epoxy, that's cool. But like for kids or parents who aren't makers and families who aren't maker families and stuff, this is a kind of a cool thing because I think it'll help turn kids on to it. It was weird, I was thinking about it, like it's not really, it's more of like an entertainment show as opposed to like a, because they're not like, kids aren't making, it's not like they're teaching kids how to make. it's more
No.
it's more
It,
like,
they like weave in fun facts while they're building stuff. So it's
yeah,
like this plasma cutter is like, hotter than the sun, and like my kids are like, whoa, like that is really hot. And then like, um, Derek is like, how the hell do they even know how hot the sun is? Like, we haven't been there. And like, my kids are like, that guy Derek has a great point.
yeah. No, it's cool
Oh,
though. I'm excited for it. My kids are really enjoying it as well. Frankie wanted to watch. We've only gotten through two, and he was like, "Dad, can we stay up and watch another one last night?" And I was like, "No, we'll catch
yeah.
up. We'll start again tomorrow." So,
Oh, I already know my kids are going to be like wanting to power through the rest of the season. Now that we aren't like completely running around nonstop. Like, oh yeah, they're ready to do that. So
yeah, so check it out on Netflix. Making Fun. It's a good show. It's good family fun. So I think you'll enjoy it.
yeah. So, yeah, I would totally recommend it. So, dude, but like that's the thing though. Like this week though, like I don't know anything that's going on right now. Like I have no idea what's happening with anything right now. I know
Oh,
that,
like out in the community, you mean?
yeah, like I don't know, like I haven't seen what my friends worked on all weekend, right? Like I haven't.
You've been on vacation, man. So
Yeah, like
you
so,
haven't been in the shop.
and like I got a lot of work I still have to do today, so it's like I'll get back. Like I think it's gonna take me another day and a half to get completely back up to speed with everything between work and everything else.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what's next for you. Like now that you're back, what's next?
I got a lot of work stuff I gotta take care of
Like
first.
work?
Work, yeah. Dude, everything is backed up right now. My work is backed up. My shop
Yeah.
work is backed up. Um, I'm probably 2 weeks behind on my where I want to be at with the shop, right?
Yeah.
I got a couple people who ordered some stuff, and I really want to get that stuff done because I want to get paid. And when I get paid, then I could put it all towards this drum sander I bought that's supposed to ship this week. We'll see. So I think it's supposed to ship tomorrow. So
What's cool is even though you were off Instagram for like a week basically, I felt like you were still there because a bunch of people were tagging you in things and posting things that they like, the TIE fighter stands that people were getting. Somebody made one of your Millennium Falcon tray cutting boards that I saw, they tagged you in. So I was still kind of getting my Luke fix through other
yeah,
people, which was nice. You know what I
dude,
mean? So
but dude, I was scrubbing the bottom of my video file on my phone for anything to post as a reel the whole time. Like I was like in the bathroom, I'm like, can I post like me drilling a hole as a reel? Is that good enough? I'm like, it's totally not how I like to do it, but I was like, oh god, because like I'm almost at like 6,000 followers, and I plan
yeah.
on doing this 6K giveaway. So, which I haven't planned it at all.
Yeah, I was
If
gonna
you,
say I haven't heard you mention that once.
it was a 5K giveaway, and I just stopped paying attention. And I don't know, man. I had a bunch of people hit me up too, and they're hey, man, did you ever get my sticker? Right? That I sent you? And I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm the worst with stickers.
I have stickers that I keep getting stickers from people because I forget. I'm just the worst. I forget that like I get stickers from all kinds of people and I forget to send them and I just put a bunch on the board today, so that was good. I've been actually working in the shop this week, which is nice.
I'm so jealous.
And dude, I've just been doing some shit. It's fucking been nice. I've actually been
Yeah.
out here, so I made 2 cutting boards this week. I started handles for 3 mallets. and it's been good. I've been
Are you getting a lot of interest for those hand drawn mallet handles?
I haven't yet. I did a giveaway for one of them, and that was fun.
Yeah, I did see the alert for that come up, and I was like, "Oh shit, Ben's going live for something." And I was like, I wanted to jump on, but I think there was somebody jumping on me at the time.
No, yeah. So no, but it's been good. It's been a productive week. I saw Bryce. He came by on this weekend, and I talked to him. Waffle Beaver. That was nice having a fellow maker here at the shop.
Did you ask him if he eats waffles?
I didn't, but I highly doubt he does because the dude looks like a Adonis.
I know he's way too good looking. So.
Yeah, it's stupid. He keeps he's sending me notes like stop eating this. He comments on all our podcasts on YouTube. You haven't even got on there yet, probably, and seen them, but he's commented on every video about like how we should stop eating that or stop eating this or well, he's trying to save our lives, Luke, is what he's trying to do.
Dude, you know what's funny is that Kyle, on the other hand, is trying to, it's like Kyle and Bryce are both emitting energy and it's counteracting each other. Like Kyle sent me all these videos of like the fattest shit on Instagram, and and Bryce doesn't message me directly that often. But if you're telling me that on the other end, Bryce is telling you like, like, don't eat that.
I'm telling you, man, there are angel and devil. They're one on one shoulder, one on the other shoulder.
It's great. So
eat this. Don't eat breakfast, Ben. Eat this. Don't eat Hostess cupcakes, Ben.
I think Kyle is expecting we're going to get him business cards too, as far as as being our food reporter.
Oh, we should. We should definitely do that. We'll use our Patreon money that we got to order some.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I will say though, I don't know if you want me to mention this or not. While I was like sitting there doing nothing, and like the few times I was doing nothing in Denver, I started working on our game show.
Oh, looking forward to this, dude.
And dude, the structure I've built for it, is gonna be so much fun, right? I have it all organized out. It's gonna be so cool. All I need to do is come up with another like 90 challenges. I think I need at least 50, right, to do it.
Yeah,
to do the way I'm planning to do it. So I don't know if I want to crowdsource that or not. But dude, I think like once I get that done, or once we get that done, I'm like, because I got to share the note with you, the file. Like I really want to get that game show going.
Oh yeah, we also have another challenge that happened. We were challenged. We were challenged to do this challenge.
Who dare challenges us?
So I was on Clubhouse the other day, and I was in the Working Hands podcast room, and I was hanging out with everybody, and we were all talking about
Cast Off.
No, we were talking about the Making Fun show, and we kind of were spiraling off different ideas of different things that would be also good, you know what I mean, different challenges or different things. And somebody in the room said that we should do a challenge where you have your kids build something out of Legos, and then we have to take that and build it out of other materials and actually create that like
a scaled version of it, or
like a scaled version of it. Like you say you build, this is what your kid designed, and then you have to take it and you have to design it in your actual shop. And it wouldn't be like necessarily a challenge for us necessarily, but it's something that we would challenge our listeners and stuff to do. I don't know.
I every time my kids are like, every time Bubs is in the shop, I get that challenge. I mean, he has me designing swords left and right, dude.
Yeah.
You should see Bubs' arsenal right now. It's impressive.
I made a sword this weekend with Frankie, and I was channeling you guys, and we made something. But anyways, yeah.
What kind of sword?
It was it looked amazing. It was out of just a piece of oak that I had, and he after I cut it out, he then painted it, and we also lashed the
handle?
the hand, not the handle, but the piece that comes across. I'm so not a bladesmith or a knife maker or anything. The piece
That piece of metal at the top of the handle?
yeah, that goes across your hand to
Yeah.
keep it from hitting the blade, whatever that piece is called. We took it and lashed another piece of wood onto it with twine and everything, so it looked like an actual like real sword and everything. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty epic, I'll have to say. Yeah,
you got to send me a picture of that thing.
I will send a picture.
Yeah, I mean, look, if somebody has some kind of idea that gets my kids wanting to participate in anything shop related, I'd be cool. I would not do anything that Bub's designed out of Legos because he always makes like gigantic robots, right?
Yeah. It's so
like if Bubs, if someone was like, hey, you have to make something Bubs would roll in with like a foot and a half tall robot made out of Legos, and he's like, okay, this is the laser, this is the sword, this is this is that, and like, oh my god, dude, like
I'm remembering now. That's where it came from. It came from the idea that somebody built some kid. Somebody in the room was saying, you know how your kids build something in Legos and then they say it is what it is, but it's not what it is. You know what I mean? Like they're like, okay, this, they build this thing and it just looks like a bunch of stacked Legos together, but they're like, no, it's a battleship, and this is the, like you were saying, this is the laser, this is the this and that, and you're like, totally, bro, like that's, you know what I mean?
Right. Bubs is always running in my office like, look at this gun I made, and it's just like, I'm like, there's no handle and there's no where do the bullets come out, Bubs? It's like, it looks like a globe. It's closer to a globe than it is to a gun. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, jeez.
Dude, wait. So, are we at an hour yet? Are we? Because I got more stuff we could talk about. But I know that like we hit an hour. We got to wrap this stuff up. Maybe we could do an offcuts.
Yeah, I think we're getting close to an hour because I think we started a little after 11 a little bit. So I think we're close to it. No, I think you're right. I think we should maybe cut it here.
I mean, because we got 2 new Patreons this week. So now I have to actually pull it up on my computer so I can read everybody's names. Because now that we have 6, I can't remember more than 5. So.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I can't believe we're at 6 already. Jesus Christ, dude. You guys are amazing. You people out there.
Yeah. And guys, we're just gonna use this money to make the podcast better. Right?
Yeah, that's the whole point. I mean, that and cheeseburgers.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Dude, I was really disappointed with the food in Denver was just okay.
Yeah,
and the grossest place that we ate the whole time was the,
was the what?
This one place it was just not for me, right? I know it's really popular, and I did meet Kim Burt while I was out there, Wisco Designs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got to meet a maker out there, and I hate to say this, that like she was so nice, and like the kids were just completely bonkers when she was around. It was really great to meet her. But I know she likes this restaurant. It was the old Spaghetti Factory, and I was like, the kids loved it. I was like, oh man, it's because it was just like, it's just pasta and sauce, like, and
yeah.
And I got some brown butter mozzarella pasta thing, and like, dude, I was really concerned how my body would handle that, like, the next day. I was very garlicky, and it was very buttery, and I'm like, I'm so worried about like especially on vacation having an unplanned for poop. It's like I can't risk that. Where like you're out in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden, hey, you remember like 8 hours ago you ate that pasta thing that was completely grease? Like, well, here you go.
Yeah, you got to play an away game, and those are never a good time.
Dude, Bub said he had to poop when he was on top of the mountain in the middle of the blizzard. I'm like, no, bro, shit your pants. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to keep you alive with the rest of us. Like, I can't see anything. The car's slipping around the road, and it's a giant hill. I'm like, shit your pants. I got shit to do. Like,
oh, geez. Well, hey, since we're gonna wrap this up, let's. I have a couple shout outs I wanted to do just because both these things were really cool this week. And have you seen Chris from Full Steam? Have you seen his new SLA printer, his 3D printer he's done? He has.
I don't have any idea what any of that is. I don't know what an SLA printer is.
Okay, go on his page. He's got this. Go on his page right now. Pull it up.
Full Steam.
Full Steam Designs.
Okay.
I'm bringing it up because you're a 3D printing guy, but I'd never heard of this type of 3D printing. I've only seen the kind that you do. This is a different type of 3D printing. It's called an SLA 3D
Oh,
printer.
it's a resin printer.
A resin
Yeah.
printer?
Yeah, so like the thing pulls up out of the liquid, and as it does, the light shoots this stuff, and it solidifies. So when it pulls it all the way out of the printer, yeah, that's what that is. That is a resin printer. And the only other person I've ever seen, that's for sure a resin printer.
Dude.
Is Dad, not Dad, Grant from Dad Crafted. I've seen him. He has a resin printer. He printed a really cool. The table that thing is on is awesome too.
Yeah. Dude, I've never seen anything like it, and it was like witchcraft to me, and it blew me away. So he's doing these.
He's a good shout out because that dude built a car.
Yeah. So go check out Chris from full_steam_designs. He's doing some incredible stuff with his 3D printers, and he also builds cars. But go check that out because he posted some stuff this week that was just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. It looks like it's coming out of liquid. I mean, it is resin, right? But the way it hardened, I mean, it blows my mind.
Dude, I watched a YouTube video where this guy was printing transparent Ninja Turtles, like the action figures that you had as a kid.
Yeah,
he was printing those.
Oh, that's so
with
cool.
Articulating limbs right out of the resin printer. It's so cool.
That's so cool, man. The future is now, people. And then your boy Pete Squared.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Did you see that laptop stand that he made?
Dude, I shared it. What are you talking about? Did I see it? I shared it. Yeah,
I know. I think you did. That laptop stand that's coming off his CNC machine now is incredible, dude. And it has a little drawer in it.
It's look. I've been following Pete. Like Pete was the first, I think, CNC guy that I followed.
Yeah.
And I know he's like, I don't know, he's probably like close to 50,000 followers. I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't, and I know he's well over 20. But I've been following him since like he had like 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
That guy, like, so, and I've gotten to know him fairly well. I know what he does for a living, and I know what he's just a really interesting dude, and like he designs video games.
Oh,
at least
yeah.
He used to. He's really comfortable with 3D design work, and the way his mind works is just incredible. Did you see the drill press hat thing he made?
No, I didn't see that one.
Dude, he made like a top, like your old Chicago Electric drill press. Right?
Yep.
So he had a bigger drill press, but it had the same kind of top to it.
Yeah.
He built a thing that went on top of it that was magnetic that fit all of the drill bits that you needed for the drill.
Oh wow,
right?
That's cool.
And it like detached off, and then you could use those other plates. It was brilliant. Like and he got into 3D printing recently, and he just printed the craziest looking dust boot for his CNC, and he introduced me directly to the person I wanted to shout out today.
Then let's hear it.
Which is DI Dave 3D. My MakerClub partner hit 10K.
Yeah, I saw that, dude. I was like, he just hit 10K. I was surprised that he was only at 10K. That guy's super talented.
He just had a baby, right? And I think while he was on paternity leave, his account grew by 4,000 followers at least, and it was because he said he figured out how to game Instagram, and so when he was bored at home with the baby, all he was doing was gaming Instagram, and he I'm like, dude, if you really dedicated yourself to doing this, like you would be a full-time guy. Like,
yeah.
You know,
see his video the other night that he posted. He's
with the anchors.
With the anchor, no, the one where he's sitting there at his desk at his workbench, and he's like sanding. I think he was sanding or doing something, and he was wearing his Mandalorian helmet.
Oh yes.
He's just like, he just looks over at the camera and looks back. It's just funny and just really funny.
Yeah. And I mean, I love Dave because, like, he invents things. Like, most people don't know this, but like that dude is inventing solutions for problems, like on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you haven't seen, and I always say his account name wrong. So hold on, let me just make sure I say it right because I always say it's DIY Dave.
It's 3D
but it's
DIY.
3D DIY Dave, 3D underscore DIY underscore Dave. That's who it is.
He's part of the underscore crew.
Yeah, he's part of the underscore crew. And then the other dude I wanted to shout out this week is just a guy who I think is one of my favorite makers is Keith Deason. You know Keith Deason, right?
Oh yeah, he's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing he made this week?
I saw the dust collector thing Dave made for him.
Oh, Dave made that for him?
Dave printed that does so Keith has been doing those cool melted popsicle rugs.
Yep.
And he came up with a jig for trimming the yarn to make it perfect.
Yep.
And then he hit up Dave, and Dave built dust collection for it.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the video for it. It's super cool. What a great idea.
Like, oh yeah, dude. I'm like, dude, like that's I don't know. I think Dave's an awesome dude. He's been a good friend of mine for a while, and yeah. So if you haven't, those would be my shout outs this week.
Keith and Dave, and Chris
Keith
and Pete.
Dave,
Chris, Pete,
and Pete,
Dave, and Keith. Go check those guys out.
And Pete introduced me to Dave. So
that's what a connection.
Yeah,
what a connection. It's just a great. So many smart freaking people out there, man.
Yeah, and they're willing to talk to me. It's so cool.
Yeah, because we're just a couple of idiots talking on a microphone, and
yeah,
we're lucky. We're lucky that people want to talk to us.
Dude, I'm just fortunate when anyone takes the time to dumb something down far enough that I can understand it. Like I really appreciate those people out there. There's a lot of them out there. Some of them I pretend to understand what they're talking about. Some of them I don't.
Dude, seriously, all this computer generated. Oh, by the way, do you know what CNC means?
Computer.
I wanted to test you on this because I didn't know what it meant.
Computer. I would say it's something like computer. I have no idea.
I knew I was going to stump you. I
have no idea.
I just fucking knew it.
Dude, I had no idea. Like, I don't know what the hell that means.
Computer numerical control is what it stands for.
That's a stupid ass name. Like, who the hell came up with that?
I knew it. I was like, I'm going to stump him. The dude.
Like CAD is computer aided design. That makes sense to me. Like CNC. No, I didn't Google what that was. Computer. What was it again?
Computer. I wrote it down. Computer numerical control.
This is the problem, man. Is there's so many smart people out there, and like they invent they come up with world changing stuff.
Yeah.
But they're so uncreative, other than when it comes to solving a problem creatively, that they just have the dumbest fucking names.
Yeah. I'm gonna start a new segment called Stump Luke. And that was my first question. That was number one. Anyway, well, it was a complete success.
Dude, I don't. Yeah, it was a home run, bro. I don't know any like woodworking terms. Like I'm always trying to ask people for help, and they're like, "Well, what are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, I try to explain the problem," and they're like, "Do you mean this?" And I'm like, "I gotta Google the word you just said. Hang on." Like, no, that wasn't it. It was the other thing. And they're like, "What other thing?" And I'm like, "I don't know the words. I don't have the words."
All right. Dude, I'm the same way. We'll be better.
Oh, hey,
we're gonna try and be better, guys.
Wait, so let's wrap it up, but we could keep going after this. It started on offcuts because I got to tell you something I remembered when I was in Denver.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's shout out our patrons.
The patrons. Okay,
patrons.
Okay, and you're gonna love this. All right, so I'm gonna go in order of when they joined. All right. So Kyle Foote from Footwork Woodworks.
Yes.
Matthew Gerard.
Yes.
The Wooden Mustache. Yep, I got his name this time. He's never corrected me, by the way. Maybe he did.
He's awesome, by the way. He he bought our shirt this last week and wore it in his sticker shout outs this week, and dude, he's just such a funny dude. I love that
Dude,
guy.
his mustache mail Monday thing he does,
Yes, it's
where
the
he gets
best.
drunk and he just talks about the stickers he got,
Yes, dude.
is the funniest thing.
Oh, so
Oh, you
good.
son of
Thanks,
a
Matt.
bitch.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep, yep. And then Lee, with the last name. Do you remember Lee's last name?
Oh man, that's why I decided I was going to remember it.
Oh man.
Oh man,
Yeah. Oh man. That's basically how I feel at most when I see his
exactly
his,
right,
his
dude.
posts.
Okay, time out. Shout out to him real quick. Did you see that epoxy thing he did this week with his CNC? He took a cutting board, right? He's always
Oh yeah.
Lee, he's
I
always
did. I don't know what happened. I saw him carving something, and then I saw him pour epoxy in it, but I didn't see what happened after that.
dude. He's always a step ahead of everybody else. He took
Dude, he
a
did that.
cutting
He
board.
did that like Lichtengraf shit, where he like electrocutes
Yes.
the cutting boards and
Yes.
stuff.
So he took his cutting board, he took his CNC, and he basically cut a bunch of random lines throughout it
Mhm.
and made a design. And then he took epoxy and he poured this like greenish, yellowish like epoxy in it, and then let it, cure up. And then he cleaned it all off, and it just looks badass, dude. It just looks like something that nobody's doing. You know what I mean? Of course.
Dude, I saw the one video he posted where he had he did a thing where he was pushing wood through the router table, and he wanted to pretend like a kickback, and it like bounced
yeah.
off the wall and off the like bounced off like five things and came back at him. Yeah, like ricocheted off the walls. I was like, I could just imagine like Lee just whipping up like wood against the wall and be like, was that good enough? Like, let me get
Yeah,
another one and
yeah.
like throwing it again. Like,
Oh,
man.
so
so
funny.
so Lee, Mike Holmes from Broken Lead Woodworks.
My
and then-
my remix partner.
Oh man,
Did you
that
see him?
guy.
Did
I
you
didn't
see-
wait, he remixed you?
He did. I did the. Did you see my? Did you saw my flip yesterday? My type on flip, by the way. I
Yes,
I
yes.
killed that, by the way. That was just ridiculous.
You
First
didn't
try.
break stride. That was impressive.
And then Big Mike, because he did it like a couple days ago. He did
Uh-huh.
the type on flip, and I saw his video, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, I got to do this thing." So I did the same thing, and then he last night remixed our videos together, and
Uh-huh.
it's like fucking perfect, dude. He nailed
Oh,
it.
I gotta check that out because
Yeah.
somebody challenged me. There was another type on flip, but it was with the smaller bottles. right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I tried to do that on video, and I posted it in my stories. I was like, first try, but in reality, it took like 15 tries. And I had hit it before. I hit it like on my third try, but I was watching where I was throwing it, and I wasn't watching what I was filming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like I nailed it, and I look at the video, and it's like I was filming the floor. So I was like, damn it. But yes, yes.
Big Mike, thank you, dude.
Mike is awesome, and they have two new patrons. One of my really good buddies, Dave Wirt.
Yes.
Yes.
One
from
grit. One grit.
One grit. What the hell does that mean?
That's who that was his nickname on Clubhouse when he first came on Clubhouse. Because
Really?
He's like he's like a one grit sandpaper. That's like dealing. That's what Dave. It's like dealing with Dave is like rubbing one grit sandpaper on you.
It's like one grit, and that wouldn't be like a rock or something like that. Like,
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's just you pick up a piece of. Anyways, that was his nickname because he's Dave's awesome, but he can be a bit abrasive sometimes.
That's what everyone keeps telling me, but to me, he's like the nicest, most generous dude. Like he's bought a bunch of stuff for me, and like
No, he's bought stuff for me as well. He is the nicest dude. That's the funniest part. It's like outside of if you actually know him, he's like super nice, but he can just come off sometimes as a little abrasive in in conversations.
I mean, I guess, but he offered to pick me up. He lives in near Kansas City. And he offered to like pick me up and drive me to Adrian's house in Pennsylvania, and I'm like, she wants to do her own version of Maker Camp, you know?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, bro, I'll ride with you, man. Like, I'm like, you care if I smoke weed in your brand new pickup truck the whole time? I'm like, because like you're probably not gonna let me drive it, so I'm gonna be housing gummies, like so. You know.
No, Dave's the best dude. I love Dave.
Dave's great. And then the last one, I was cracking up when you texted me and you're like, we got 2 new patrons. And I was like, who are they? You're like, Dave Wirt and Wama Gelman. And I'm like, oh my God, so Wama Gelman is my mom. That's the nickname. You know, like you know how like kids have like goofy nicknames for the grandparents?
Yeah.
So my dad is Wampa, which I forget how that all went down.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, well, then that means grandma's Wama. So
That's hilarious. Because I didn't know who it was. I thought maybe she was like a crazy aunt of yours or something. Like,
No. Dude, I have not told any of I don't even know if my brother knows if I have a podcast or not.
that's funny. You should.
Yeah,
totally-
because
you
he's
should tell him.
been working nonstop and and like my mom's been I'm sure my mom's told him, but
You should
you know.
share your successes, bud.
Yeah.
'Cause
So,
this thing's huge.
and this is gonna be great. My mom's gonna ask me how the trip was, and I'll be like, just wait till Friday, Ma. You can listen to the podcast. I'll
Yeah.
tell you. And hey, thanks for your $3. I love you. Like, keep trying to tell her to stop spending money on me, but
That's actually a clever way for you to like tell your mom and dad stuff. You know what I mean? Just like kind of drop it in the podcast because they listen, right? So
oh, dude, so they used to when my kids.
maybe you
used
need
to
to
have
break news to them or something.
Yeah. Mom, I have something horrible to tell you. You might want to skip to 23 minutes and 57 seconds in the podcast because this is just something we need. We're gonna need to recap after you listen to it. I'll call you in 20.
Yeah.
No. So the kids used to have a nanny, right?
Yeah.
So my mom she made her and the nanny obviously became best friends. And so my mom had an inside line to what was going on with the kids at any time, right? And since the nanny has since retired and moved on to public schools, she doesn't have that line anymore. So she's always feeling like she's, stuff's happening that she needs to know about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Bub's yelled at me for an hour today. You want me to go into detail about that?
Yeah. Anyways, well, thank you so much, Luke's mom.
Yes, and thank you to everyone else who's a Patreon. If you would like to be a Patreon too, right now you'll get a shout out for sure. But Ben and I have a lot of fun stuff planned, coming in the works. And now that the Denver trip's behind me, we can get to it.
Yeah, and now also, if you want to be a Patreon and support this show, just go in the bottom in the episode notes. There's now a link to our Patreon, dude. I did a bunch of stuff while you were gone, bro. I made things happen, and thanks to Trevor Trevor Madeira for kicking my ass and making me do shit.
Did he become a Patreon yet?
I don't think he has. But he had a lot of notes.
Because
he had a lot of notes on how we should make our shit better, though.
thanks, Trev. Appreciate that, bro. Good looking up, buddy.
Oh, dude.
I love
okay.
Trevor, though.
Yeah, no, he's the man.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, let's get out of here.
Yeah, because I want to tell you what my uncle told me. So let's wrap this up.
I'm excited.
It's so stupid, man.
Go check us out on all our socials, guys. Go to YouTube, watch the videos after you've listened. Go watch them because you'll get a kick out of that. And then also, like I said, there's a link in the show notes now for Patreon. And dude, thank you guys so much. You guys kick ass.
Oh, and I have a potential alternative outro for us, Ben.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Ready? Hey, Tim, take us home. Oh, that was it.
That was it. That was it. Okay.
I mean, I can stick with balls, but hey, Tim, take us home. Like, he says all that stuff about us at the
Tim,
end.
take us home.
Take us home, Tim.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
This has been a ConMan Creative production. Text us anytime at 908 768 2664 or send us a message on our Instagram, thejointery podcast. You can find Ben at Condorosa Creations or Luke at Luke in the Garage, everywhere that social media is sold. That's garage, not garage. Say it properly.